Welcome back to another episode of Singapore's Real Estate Explained of our new launch series. And today we have our Director of Investment,
Krishno, in the house.
Welcome back.
Yes, welcome back. And we are more than happy to do more reviews of new launches because we realize we need an objective voice in the market today. So yes, Grace, what do we have?
So today we have the Arden. So something that is a new launch that has been a lot of people have been waiting for it because it has been delayed. And finally, we're getting some information on the launch pricings, and it's something that we'll be sharing with you guys.
Yeah, it's a slum plot that is located in the District 23, near to Bukit Batok, near Bukit Panjang area. And this project that has a decent land plot, around 5,800 square meter of land.
Yep.
1.4 plot ratio, 99 years, 105 units. Wow, so this is not the biggest of development you can see.
So this is one of the concerns that people have also, on how we always say about, in terms of investment-wise, we're always looking for mid to big-size developments.
Yes.
But what are your thoughts on this development being 105 units?
Wow, actually talking about developments, if you talk about small-size development, usually the returns are not as high. There's something to be very truthful in our words. But sometimes exceptions. We see units that are like 24 units, 50 units make a lot, but at the end of the day, it's entry price. They actually push up and it takes a longer time. So it depends on what kind of exit strategy you're looking at. If you're looking at 3/4 a flip, maybe not as much, but looking at longer term hold, if the entry price is right, we can still consider.
Yeah.
Yes. And yes, the TOP date is 2025, in fact 26, with blocks of 3 blocks, 5 floors. And it's why the plot ratio is low, 1.4. And we will look into the numbers later on. But yes, let's take a look at developer background. Currently, he has done quite a few projects, which is quite iconic for Qingjian to actually do a very nice landscaping, like Forest, Jadescape. They're very iconic. Even Le Quest with mixed development in different area, but mainly in RCR and OCR area.
Yep.
So yes, have you visited Le Quest Mall for yourself? Nope. Okay, so I guess she is more of a Dover Westie. So in terms of Le Quest Mall, even myself have yet to visit. So one day we will go and check it out.
I think the challenge is to visit every single condo in Singapore.
Yeah, the funniest part is actually to look at the numbers, the figures for Le Quest. In fact, investors have approached us to look at investing in the fund for Le Quest even. But in terms of personal experience, I think currently, based on what the investment report had mentioned, in fact, in Le Quest area, fun fact, there will almost be 98% occupancy rate. So it's a pretty good mall. And it's quite similar in terms of Jadescape and Forest. One thing in common is Qingjian is very well known in terms of landscaping. So it's something we can keep a lookout for. All right. So next, let's take a look at location.
Yes.
Okay, so where are we?
Okay,
Grace?
so we're close to Phoenix LRT, and that's the nearest LRT that we'll be looking at. And with the LRT, then you can actually head down to either the Choa Chu Kang area or the Bukit Panjang area. So you're kind of in a pretty good location where you have both sides. If let's say you want to go for your shopping where you have Hillian Mall, or even the other side where you have Lot 1.
Yeah, and it is near the Phoenix LRT, one LRT stop away from Bukit Panjang. So the word Phoenix, wow, how do you guess? How do you name even Phoenix in the first place?
Phoenix is Feng Huang, right?
Yeah, so they hope that maybe this place can rise in the ashes and maybe develop some new land, which is quite interesting because there are quite a few land plots coming out around this area you can keep a lookout for. All right, so next, let's take a look at connectivity. All right.
Yep. So like we mentioned, it's about 3 to 4 minutes walk to Phoenix LRT, depending on how fast you walk or how long your legs are. Is then one stop to Bukit Panjang MRT. That's where you have your Hillian Mall. And then the other side will be Choa Chu Kang MRT, which is about 4 stops from Phoenix LRT.
Wow, this is a place of memory because last time I used to be going to Jerry's house to study nearby UT, Bukit Panjang area. Wow.
Same for me. I studied around the Choa Chu Kang area also.
Oh wow. Which school are you from?
Pioneer.
Wow. It's a very nice location, nice school. And yes, how was the experience studying there in the locality?
Very far from me because I stay at Dover.
But
I dread it's a nice area because there's a lot of like amenities around. But like if you stay at Dover and you have to wake up at I forgot what time, 6 o'clock, and you spend 1 hour going to school.
Wow. Okay. I guess sometimes if you really love the Choa Chu Kang area, the north, the northwest kind of area, it's perfect.
Yeah.
But if you are someone who not used to it, I guess it takes some time for people to really want to shift to the area.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, of course, by this particular development, it's not about whether you like it or not. It's back to numbers we should look at. Right? Now let's take a look at the schools. So schools-wise, we have Teck Whye Primary, Westview Primary within 1 km. And quite a variation like CHIJ even. And yes, where is your pioneer school? Maybe it's almost there but not there. But
usually people buy for like primary school.
Primary school.
When you're at JC, you're expected to take a 1 hour train or bus ride to your school.
But yeah, I still remember you mentioned your JC was not an easy time. For Grace, you have a traumatic experience. But I guess now you're much better in a better place now. Yep. Okay. So let's take a look at
1 km. What schools do we have?
Yeah. So Teck Whye Primary and Westview Primary is in 1 km. It's a decent school, but one thing we take note, one of the more interesting schools is the Bukit Panjang and CHIJ. That's something that people may look for, but it's within 2 km. Alright. Let's take a look at shopping. Shopping wise, Teck Whye Shopping Centre, Hillion Mall. Yes. Have you went to the mall? Yep. Okay. How do you find it?
I think Bukit Panjang area is, because you have your Bukit Panjang Plaza, you have your Hillion Mall, right? So I think most of the things you can actually find there. That's why I say, Arden, you're kind of in between like the Lot 1 area and the Bukit Panjang area. Yeah, so shopping amenities wise, it's pretty convenient.
Yes, indeed. And one fun fact, Hillion Mall is a very nicely managed mall by REITs. As compared to Junction 10, where you have the Tannery, we see that it's more strata mall related. So the traffic is not as quick. So it's very interesting how malls are actually a very some of the key factors that we look at when it comes to seeing footfall and where that development may have certain growth potential even. Okay, and I remember Hillion Mall is after cell group. We always go and walk like 10 minutes from one of my cell group mates' house. Very nice walk. Very quiet, serene. And wow, the Hillion Mall is lots of things over there. So do check it out. Right, we are like selling malls instead of residential nowadays. Okay, so next, let's take a look at other amenities. We have the community clubs, even like Home Team NS, which is a little further down to Bukit Batok. But if you want to enjoy the nature greenery, which I really like when I walk from my cell group mate home all the way to Hillion Mall, we have quite a lot of nature parks.
Yes.
Okay, we have Chestnut Nature Park,
Choa Chu Kang, Choa Chu Kang,
and Petir Park, sorry. So yes, let's take a look at the surrounding land plots. Very important because we look at what is upcoming in that area.
Yes.
So right here, we actually have the subjective detailed planning next to the Bukit Panjang MRT area, Bukit Panjang MRT area. And along with a few blue sites, which you can do keep a lookout because it could be upcoming new estate. That we can understand a little further. And along with a lot of education hub over here, a lot of education schools that we can enjoy in terms of like a series of choice in terms for your kids. All right. Okay. And next, let's take a look at this news. Wow. Why we're waiting for so long?
Correct.
Okay, Grace, yes, will you share with us what was happening?
So Arden was actually an en bloc, but the land was kind of not in a regular shape. So the developers actually applied for the purchase of 3 remnant lands. And I think during the purchase, there was some, paperwork or like approvals that need to be done with the government. And that's why the entire project launch has been delayed since.
Yes, indeed. So there's some complexity that comes to buying up a land that has a remnant land. So that's something that dragged the date, which is also why the ABSD deadline will also be dragged because of this.
Slightly.
So it's a good,
but it's kind of a blessing in disguise because if you know that for the land price, they actually got it back when it was actually pretty low, and it's even lower than some of the ECs that we are seeing today.
Yes.
Yeah. So in a sense, they do have a shorter timeline to sell out, but they're also at a market where, prices have really increased.
Yeah, correct.
Yeah.
And remnant usually are lands that it'd be an irregular land plot. It could also explain why the PSF for the break even is lower. Because the remnant land are not lands that can be used, so they are usually sell at a cheaper price to be part of the landscaping. All right, so let's take a look at unit mix. Okay, so unit mix is starting from 2-bedder. There are no 1-bedders over here.
Yeah.
Okay, so 2-bedders, there's at least close to 42% of 2-bedders. For 3-beders, about close to 28.6%. Okay, so you can see this entire place is targeting more for families, people who don't mind. There's a Bukit Panjang, Phoenix area that they want to stay.
Yeah.
All right. And something to take note, they're all low rise, 5-story. So if you're someone who really loves skyscraper, I guess this project may not be the best, but if you're someone who loves greenery and like low rise, like, stay in the landed, almost like a landed kind of style, maybe this is something you consider.
And I think there is a group of people who, prefer like smaller developments as compared to like mega developments. Like I have clients tell me,
yes.
Yeah, he feels like he's squeezing with everybody, even though, you might say like there's a lot of facilities and stuff, but some of them just prefer like a more quiet, less density kind of development because they're ultimately buying for own stay also.
Yes, indeed.
Yeah.
Wow, that's the first time I heard, but very interesting. Most people tend to prefer big developments.
Yes.
But there are definitely some who prefer slightly more boutique size. And the key thing is back to where the price is affordable.
Yeah, correct.
All right. So next, let's take a look at the site plan. Very regular shape. Okay, recently we did Lentor Hill Residences, a Chinese character bar.
Yes.
So let's see, what is the Chinese character here? Sun, yeah. So there are 3 lines, 1, 2, 3. Wow, so it's a 撇的 now it's a top 横. 3条横, yeah. So it's a decent facilities. I say 2 pools over here, along with clubhouse, etc.
You have a 30 meters pool, which is pretty decent for a small development.
True. And a small gym, changing room. Yeah, so this is one thing about small developments where they tend to have less facility. And one thing to take note is maintenance fee may be slightly higher, but it really depends on how a developer price the maintenance.
Yeah.
All right. So next, let's take a look at the break-even price. Okay. Yes, Grace, you want to share more about this?
Yeah, so like we mentioned, because this one was all the way back in 2019, so the developers actually got it at a pretty good price, and a break even you're looking at is like 1,000, close to almost 1,000, and this is even lower than some of the ECs that are actually upcoming.
Yes, indeed.
Yeah.
So they got it at a good time, during close to, okay, not really COVID-19, but before COVID-19.
So it's really a blessing in disguise for the developers also.
Yes, and they were quite interesting. They actually dragged the timeline to sell, so that they can be able to really outbeat the market and have a higher profit margin.
So even though it's, we say, okay, they got it at a low price, maybe like, buyers will have an opportunity to buy it at a low price. Because usually we see developers selling 20 to 25% above their break even. But of course, developers are always like business people. So if they can make a profit, they will definitely launch it at market price or maybe slightly lower. So it just shows that, a lower break-even price or a lower landed price may not always equates to lower launching price also.
Yes, indeed. It depends on market condition. So one thing to note is starting from 1,688. Okay, I need Ilu Fafa. I think now a lot of yeah, now we know why.
Wow.
Yeah, so
sure, Chris Chinese is not bad.
Okay. 跟我讲努力当中 Okay, let's continue. So what we notice is average that they mentioned is 1,750 per square feet.
Yeah.
Break-even price, 3%. Crazy, but these are the market conditions.
Yes.
But so something to think note, they may want to aim for sell best. I mean, at launch day, if they don't do that, I mean, likelihood, but unlikely, because now this kind of pricing in the market today for OCR.
Yes.
When some were 1,008, 1,009, even 2,000
averagely
plus.
2,000.
But you can still get something at close to 1,007. Maybe they are using that as a benchmark. But once again, small development thing, note, there must always be a slightly less premium as compared to bigger developments. All right. So let's take a look at the pricing matrix. Okay, so if you take a look for the 2-beders, 657 square feet, okay, see the layout later on. They're starting from, I think, about close to 1.18 or 1.2 million. Okay, for the 2-bed, 2-bath, it's close to 1.3. Okay, just for 1 bedroom, it's actually quite decent. For 1 bathroom difference, it's only like 80k thereabout. Then we have the 3-beders, which is starting from 1,012 square feet, starting from perhaps on average of 1.77 million. Okay, the 3-bedroom premium with storeroom is of course 1.94 million. Yep. Okay, and for the 4-beders, 2.11 and also around 2.4 to 2.4 million thereabout. Yeah, this is something that we will look at layout later on to dissect.
Yes. So one thing I noticed that the quantum for 4-bedder, it's something that I think will be very attractive for a lot of families.
Yes,
because at a 2.1, if in today's market you're looking at a new launch, at most you can get a 3-bedder.
Yeah, that's something that they want to outplay in terms of smaller development to counteract with the 4-bedder. And in some cases, the 4-bedder even today in market for OCR, if you understand more about new launches, they are going at least 2.7 2.8 million.
Yes.
So there's something that this pricing matrix may be attractive to pool buyers who love Bukit Panjang. All right. So next, let's take a look at a different layout. Okay. So first up, we have a 2-bedroom classic, a 2-bed, 1-bath, which a lot of people may mention where's the additional bathroom where guests can use. But instead of having a bathroom, they supplement
Have a home shelter.
home shelter.
Yeah.
So I guess this home shelter you can not use for your business. You use it to store things. And I guess they're trying to weigh off this to make up for the size of 657 square feet.
Which is something that is not very common with what we are seeing in new launches, because usually 2-bedders you don't even get a store, let's just say a home shelter.
Yes, indeed.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think they want to make it up for it for the size and just saying, hey, where's the other bathroom? But I give you a home shelter
Yeah,
instead.
but looking at the floor plan itself, I think the way that it's being configured and the entryway of it being like a dumbbell layout, right? I think what can be done is the door or the entryway for the bedroom 2 can be shifted over to where the DB is, and then the home shelter can act like a walk-in wardrobe.
Yes, indeed. But one thing to take note is this home shelter is like a bomb shelter. It cannot be hacked because of thick walls. Okay, so you can't have the flexibility of doing some layout configuration or making like a bigger bedroom, for example.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay, let's take a look at the second bedroom type, which is a 2-bed, 2-bath. And yes, it still have the home shelter. Okay, just that the layout is very interesting. I would say it will be a very interesting kitchen at the end of the living room. Where
Next to your balcony.
Next to the balcony, where you can just like after you cook stuff, you can just lift it out and throw it to the balcony.
Not true.
Okay, serve it to the balcony.
I guess this can go in the sense of alfresco dining, where your guests are enjoying their dinner in the balcony, and then you can be cooking in the kitchen and just handing it over through the balcony door.
Yeah. That's it. For me, I throw, but then Grace is more elegant, so she hand it over. Yeah. Well, one thing to think though, it also comes in a home shelter.
Yeah.
And the living area is a little interesting because usually the fridge and the washer and dryer is flush to one side for the kitchen. But now you have the kitchen, washer, dryer and fridge behind the sofa, which may be a little tricky in terms of layout configuration.
Yeah.
But that's something that we seldom see this kind of layout in a lot of developments.
Yeah. The most common ones would be like your kitchen and then it goes all the way back to your dining and living. But somehow they configured this in the way that, the kitchen is tucked all the way to the end of the unit.
And to the balcony even. Yeah. Maybe they want...
But I guess for those that, have heavy cooking, you can open up the balcony and really air the entire kitchen. So that's a plus point.
Plus point, okay. And one thing you can do, I noticed here, you can easily add a sealed door over here. Then what happens is this door is open, and then what you can do like a minor zip track and enclose this balcony space into like a actual open concept kitchen if you want to. So there's some flexibility if you want to utilize the layout, would be great. But meanwhile, it also comes in a home shelter. Once again, I think they really want to cater to families because home shelter nowadays is very important. It's the missing rarity, it's like a rare Pokemon that is in the...
Correct. So now when I go and view houses, all the 2-bed, 2-baths that or like smaller units that have no home shelter, the aircon latch becomes the home shelter.
Yes,
that's where you see the kids, I don't know,
all the toys.
Correct. They're all like packed inside like a storage box on the AC ledge.
Yeah. And recently we learned this thing called the area harmonization. Yeah, which the developer last time, they do a very long aircon latch, and that's why people have to end up using those areas instead of a storage room. So it's a plus point as compared to those. Okay, next let's take a look at this layout, which is C1, 1012 square feet. Wow, this layout is so interesting. Grace, you want to share more what you think about this layout?
Yeah, so I think in terms of 3-bedroom, they don't really have like a compact 3-bedder because based on the unit mix, you also see that developers know a lot of the buyers will then be own stay buyers. So they do need a little bit more space for kids. They also need a home shelter, and that's why you don't really see a compact also. So I don't know, this is like a
very interesting gun. Inverse gun. Oh, okay, wait. It looks like a unicorn. You see, like a horse, like a pony. So it has a head here, then you have a leg. Okay. But joke aside, one thing in terms of layout wise, it is a little not fully utilized. Yes, some wasted space.
I think like the thing is that you come home and it's really 吃饭了. Like you sit down at your dining table for your meal.
Yeah.
And you walk past through your home shelter,
Home shelter,
area
through
before
this
coming
pony
to your
layout. I
living.
call it, I have a new term for your pony layout.
Yeah.
And interesting, dining is in front of the foyer, which is quite interesting, quite rare. Because imagine someone come home and then you're sitting here, so people must excuse me, and then, so they can squeeze past here. So sometimes layout is something also very important. I won't be seeing, maybe if the price is attractive, people will take, but in terms of layout wise, it's not the most ideal. But like a blessing in disguise, we have a kitchen that have a sliding door here and close it, so it's quite versatile. So you can do open concept and closed kitchen with a window right here. Okay, so you can do your own wok, your own heavy cooking here. All right, and living area is quite decent. 3-seater sofa with regular size, and each of the bedroom, interestingly, they all can put a queen size bed. So quite decent in terms of a layout if you negate the front part of the foyer. All right. Okay, next let's take a look at a more another pony layout, which is facing the other side, slightly bigger. The only difference in this pony layout, it has
extra study area.
Extra study. Yeah, so it adds a study and guest.
But I guess the good thing is at least the study, it's something that is decent. I think, and oftentimes where we see study now, it will be like a nook in the wall where you, I don't know, you can't enclose the place. There is no, I don't know how people turn it into a study area.
Yeah, it just called a space. It called it a study space.
It's like 4 tiles.
4 tiles of space and just sit there and meditate. And I call it a naughty corner where you meditate your life.
Yeah, but this one, I think it comes with a window where it's access out to the balcony. So it's pretty decent. It's one similar to what we see at Soul Acres for their 2+ study, where the study can be like a kid's playroom.
Yes, indeed. But the study actually is bigger for Soul Acres. But nowadays, this is a little more like a storeroom.
But it's considered a good study.
A good study. Yeah, correct. But one thing people like to do is, if you want to have bigger living, they'll hack down this particular wall and enlarge the entire living. So there's some people do to have a more luxurious space. And maybe they put the dining at the back instead of having a study. And the dining at the front, honestly, it can become like a study area.
It gets some time to get used to.
Yeah, it takes some time. All right. Okay, next, let's take a look at the 4-bedroom layout. Okay,
it looks more regular.
Yep,
no more pony.
Acceptable. Yeah, no pony. That looks like a minigun.
Yeah, so you come in the foyer, you have your regular dining and living area. The kitchen is tucked to the side, it's enclosed. Then you have your home shelter. So I think it's a pretty good layout for a 4-bedroom at 1,206 square feet.
I think this will be something that people are looking for, and they are willing to accept for 2.1 million, 2.2 million quantum. But once again, in terms of development size, it's important that we need to understand the entry price for every kinds of property.
Yes.
All right. Okay. And last but not least, we have a 4-bedroom plus study. Yes, this study is similar to the 3+ study. So ample space with access to the balcony too. And one thing that, as I mentioned, some people do is knock down the wall to make it a bigger living. But in terms of the layout at the back, it has a total of 3 washroom. So quite decent, and even a walk-in closet.
Yep. So for those ladies who have lots of clothes, you're gonna be enjoying this layout.
So are you one of them? Realization.
Not really.
Okay, I guess she's a simple person. So alright, so this is all we have for layout wise to analyze a little more. Okay, so before we move on to entry price, it won't be a part 2 series. Okay, it will be a part 2 series. Let's look at the pricing analysis of the land bids. Right. Okay, so Grace, can you bring us through this upcoming land bids?
So I think for Qingjian, the most recent ones that we'll be looking at is Altura at Bukit Batok, which is an EC, and then Tenet, which is also an EC that did really well when it was launched. So I think they are known for doing ECs also and quality ECs.
Indeed, and one thing to take note is for Qingjian, they bought the Bukit Batok West land, Altura I mentioned, the EC land, 99. They bought it higher
than Arden.
And this is crazy because the EC prices nowadays are break-even price became higher than the 2019 kind of land bid. So you can see how the property market has moved over the years, and just bought just last year, March 2022. Okay, but one good news is because of this hedging price, if you buy at the right entry price and the upcoming land bids for not just EC but also condo coming around, they can actually hedge against that to make a profit.
Yeah.
Right. So next, let's take a look at how the different development actually fared for Qingjian. Okay, great. So bring us through.
Yep. So for Qingjian, they did for it, and we can see that back then their break-even pricing, they bought the land in 2018, and the break-even was about 1,674. So the average launch price was about 1,931, which is about 15.35% above the break-even prices.
Yes, indeed. I still remember first time when they launched, people say, "Wow, expensive." It's always very interesting. By the end of the day, it was close to, I would say, 40% sold. Then over the years, it started taking up along the way, and it's now fully sold. So it's interesting. But right now, in terms of prices, they are going at 2,002. They're about for a freehold land in Bukit Timah. Okay, so 15.35% of break-even is something that's common for Qingjian, depending on the projects. And next, we have Jetscape.
Yeah.
Wow, Jetscape. A lot of memories. You want to hazard guess why? At Jetscape area?
Why?
Wow, it's
That's where you found zinc.
No, Zing is my fiance, just for info. Wow, it's I actually have a lot of walks down the street with Zing around the area. That's one. A fun fact, we used to go and explore. Okay, my JC is nearby. My JC is nearby. It's at Marymount area. So we use
So what's the JC?
It's Raffles Junior College. Yeah. So yes, that we used to walk around the entire estate at the Marymount area.
Yep.
And then we also go and sneak into the school and then walk around during it's opened and just I play a piano there. So a lot of memories around this area.
So the next time when we have our next shoot, our opening will be Chris playing a piano.
Yes, I will try my best. And then the next one will be me dancing. Yeah, so let's see how we can make it more fun rather than back to the numbers for all these things. All right. But one thing for Jetscape, okay, back to this, very interesting. Although the break-even price was same, 1,000 per square feet. That was like 2016. We bought early. Wow. But the launch price was close to 1,600.
That's 54.73 above break-even.
Yeah, in fact, someone hit 1,700, 1,750.
Very similar situation with what we are seeing at the Arden right now.
Yes, indeed. So you can see Qingjian is more like, if I can hit the market, I will just get the market.
Yeah. And that's something to take note, because when developers, break-even pricing and the profit margin is something that we do take note often, because when developers launch it way above the break-even, if let's say they do not sell out, and if they do face with a tight timeline, there could be a chance that they may drop the price slightly to clear out the units, because even by doing so, they're still profiting from it.
Yeah, rather than paying all the ABSC, etc. So it's one to take note. But nonetheless, it was 1,700. It went up to close to 2,000. They're about today. So decent profits. Not the best, not the worst, but there's something to take note when it comes to how Qingjian price the property. Okay, then next, let's take a look at Le Quest. Okay, Le Quest, very interestingly, launched back in 2017. In fact, for the more fun fact, they were actually bought over by another fund, and they were actually calling for the investors, and a lot of them approach, and the returns are decent. Looking at 7-8% for this kind of fund management. But one thing to take note is for Le Quest, the break-in price is 1,001 per square feet. Launch price 1,003. So Qingjian is really based on market. They don't really price in. If they can price high, they'll price high. If they price low, they will just feed the market to sell. And until today, Le Quest 1,004, 1,003, they're about, now it's around close to 1,000, 5,006. So yes, they do have a proper price staging, which is a good sign for Qingjian in terms of understanding the market. Alright. So that's all for the first part series of there's the Arden. So yes, before we end off, we always have the final fun fact, the BUA approach.
Yes.
Is it to buy, wait, or avoid? So yes, okay. So maybe for Grace, okay, we'll do a 3, 2, 1 as usual, and we'll see what our answer is. Okay. So right, 3, 2, 1.
Avoid.
Wait. Wow. Okay. Yes. Why do you say avoid?
Yeah, I think personally for me, with the pricing that is out, and it being a really small development, 100 units, I think there are other opportunities or choices in the market that investors can go into. But unless we are looking at own state purposes, then of course it's a different story and different strategy that we're looking at. But in terms of numbers, if let's say pure investment, I do feel like it being a small development could affect your exit strategy. And I believe that there may be other opportunities in the market.
Yes, indeed. So for myself, wait is back to entry price. For me, okay, because I've seen a lot of exceptions. There are exceptions where smaller development do have some appreciation, but it's a long term hold. So if you're looking for more for like a like 8 to 10 years kind of small development, longer term hold for own stay, it may still be okay if you get close to 1,006. Like best is if they launch lower, hopefully to compensate for the higher profit margin that they have, then it's still decent in the market price. But if you were to be looking at 1,008 or even high 1,007, then for this kind of development, pure investment wise, it may be a little tough because you can still get something better in the market, which we identified, and we are more than happy to share more if you have a one-to-one consult with any of our brokers.
Yes.
All right. So yes, we come to the end of our new launch review for Arden. It has been a very joyful moment to share our inner secrets from our love life to our schools to where we are. But yes, before we end, Grace, any closing thoughts?
I think it's an interesting development that, people have been waiting for because of how low the developers bid the land for. Yes. And I think it's to their benefit, that there have been some hiccups with the land and they had to drag the launch date to now. So I think for those that are looking for own stay, this is an opportunity that you can be looking at. I think it's the lowest launch in this year at 1,006 plus, 1,007 plus. So it's definitely one that you can consider entering if you do want to stay in the area for schools or near to your parents.
Yep. Okay, you're right. And so for myself, I'm not the fan of small development, to be honest. But in terms of what Grace said, if the entry price is right, own stay element, there's a form of a longer term whole concept. That's something that you may still consider. But in terms of pure investment with high return equity, there are other developments in Singapore that we have identified that we hope to bring the light in terms of risk investment to more people. All right, so with this, we come to the end of our new launch review for the Arden. We hope that you enjoyed this video and have valuable insights in terms of not just our project, but also our personal life, which we hope we don't have any double agent life, which is not consistent. But nonetheless, okay, if you have any more questions, do pop by our main hotline, and at the same time, follow our Telegram channel right here, where you have the latest market updates. With this, okay, my name is Christian.
This is Grace.
And see you
next time.
Bye.
Bye-bye.